Good morning all. Welcome to EDULOG International Conference 2025. To open this session, I call to speak Professor Luís Catela Nunes from EDULOG Advisory Board.
So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 International Conference of EDULOG. So this is an annual conference which is dedicated to a topic which is of international relevance. And for this year, we have the topic about international students. I'm here because Professor Alberto Amaral unfortunately could not come today, and so he asked me to replace him and do this opening speech on his behalf. So I'm Luís Catela Nunes, and I'm a member of EDULOG. EDULOG is the think tank for education of the Belmiro de Azevedo Foundation. The Belmiro de Azevedo Foundation was founded by Engenheiro Belmiro de Azevedo some years ago, and its objective is to promote education in Portugal by actions and also by research. So EDULOG is the organizer of this conference, and we have chosen this topic, international students, given, of course, its relevance, and especially its importance for the Portuguese case, too. Personally, I was also an international student. Probably many of you which are here were already international students at some point. But I wanted to also to give you my personal perspective very quickly. I will not take long. So more as a professor, I'm a professor in Lisbon at Nova. I'm from economics of education. But some years ago, when we had the Bologna reform in Europe, it took basically, it made a huge difference for many countries. And Portugal and some universities took that opportunity of the Bologna reform to enter the international market of higher education. And at the time, I remember, because I was at the board of the school, and we were discussing how we would change our programs. We had to change everything because the duration of the programs had to change. We already had many exchange students, but now the game was different. The game was completely different. And it was an opportunity to grow and to become a world-class school. We were discussing what risks should we take. Should we change radically our programs? Should we target foreign students, not only exchange students, so actually students that are coming and stay and pay for the program? And we had to take risks. And we saw that as an opportunity, a unique opportunity. And now, many years since the Bologna reform, we are collecting the fruit that the investment we made. Nowadays we have around 7,000 students. 60% of the students come from abroad, not from Portugal. We are recognized as a top school, but we would not be able to grow and to be recognized internationally if it was not for this opportunity and for the internationalization of our market. And so I think internationalization is really it's not only now an opportunity, because, well, at the time it was an opportunity, but now internationalization is a fact. We live in a globalized world. The world order is changing. Technology is changing. Everything is changing at a very rapid pace. We have conflicts. We have students which are moving around for many reasons. So the trend creates lots of different challenges. So today's and tomorrow's conference is about this topic about international students and the challenges that schools and governments will have and already face how to manage internationalization. So there will be talks about the political economy of higher education. There will be talks about particular cases like Portugal or Italy or Turkey or the UK, from a comparative perspective, some of the talks also. And so I hope that it will be a very fruitful discussion here. And I look forward for all the presentations that we'll have. So let me close this opening session just to ask Cristina Sim. Cristina Sim from Universidade Lusófona. She's an expert in international students too. She will be conducting the conference and taking the time to make sure that we stay on time. And Cristina, so thank you. And thank you. Have a good conference today and tomorrow.
Bom dia a todos. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the scientific committee, which includes Professor Alberto Amaral, who unfortunately could not come, and also Orlando Tavares, my colleague, it's an honor and a privilege to welcome everyone, and especially our international speakers in Porto, a city of history, of learning, and cultural encounters. First of all, we would like to express our gratitude to the EDULOG Belmiro de Azevedo Foundation for their generosity to sponsor this conference, and also for their interest in the topic of international students. This is a very timely and critical discussion in Portugal, like Professor Castella Nunes was saying, because it's a country which has seen large increases of international students in the last decade. And we extend our sincere thanks to the speakers who have accepted the invitation to come and share with us their wisdom and their experiences from diverse national contexts. And finally, we thank the audience, the people here present, because without you there would be no conference. Your presence, we believe, is also a signal of commitment to the internationalization agenda in higher education. And we hope that you will find the conference inspiring for your day-to-day work. And I want to make an announcement about a change in the program. You may have seen it in the program, but you may not. Professor Nigel Healy cannot be here with us because of some unforeseen family circumstances. So his session, which was initially scheduled for tomorrow at the end of the morning session, is cancelled. So we bring forward the presentation delivered by Elspeth Jones and Giorgio Marinoni, still in the morning, and then we will close the conference before lunch. And we apologize for any inconvenience this may cause to you. So the very title of our conference frames attention, a dichotomy that many nations, institutions, and also communities are grappling with. Are international students primarily an engine of economic growth, a lucrative industry, or are they harbingers of socio-cultural diversity, of intellectual vibrancy, and global understanding? What I want to suggest, as we will explore today and tomorrow, is that the reality is far more nuanced than a simple either or. So, we know that the internationalization of higher education is not a new phenomenon, and scholars have crossed borders for centuries. But the scale and the drivers have evolved dramatically. According to UNESCO data, the number of students studying abroad has had a dramatic surge from about 2 million at the turn of the century to almost 7 million in 2022. So this mobility is reshaping our universities and also our societies. But as we look across the global and the European landscape, what we see is divergent paths emerging. Some go towards strengthening investment, while others towards limiting student numbers, international student numbers. So on the one hand, we see some nations, often those with a long tradition of hosting international students, now contemplating or enacting actually limitations. We see the United States introducing more restrictive immigration policies, citing concerns related to national security and to immigration levels. And Chinese students, especially in STEM fields, we know they have faced intensified scrutiny due to geopolitical tensions, just to give an example. Then the United Kingdom, post-Brexit, as you will hear later today, has seen policy shifts impacting student visas. It has created uncertainty despite the fact that universities value international intakes. Then we have Denmark as a European example as well, which in the past has made adjustments to limit the number of programs taught in English and to manage international student numbers, reflecting a re-evaluation of their national priorities. So we have these countries that are trying to limit student numbers. But then on the other hand, we have other countries which are actively strengthening their investment in recruiting international students. We have Canada, for example, which has long viewed international students as key to the country's economic prosperity and a pool of future skilled workforce. Then we have Germany, which offers largely free tuition, and it actively promotes itself as a study destination, valuing the contributions that international students make and the future talent pool they represent. And then we have Portugal. Indeed, it has seen a remarkable growth in international student numbers, and you all know the Estatuto de Estudante Internacional, the international student statute, which was adopted in 2014, and which allowed public institutions to charge higher fees for international students. So that decree law was a clear incentive for institutions to invest in international recruitment and in initiatives to attract students, and that has happened primarily among CPLP countries from the community of Portuguese language countries. And data from the General Directorate of Education and Science Statistics, which here we know as JEC, shows a consistent rise with around 73,000 international students in 2023-24, so 73,000 compared to around 27,000 10 years ago. So that's a huge, huge increase, about more than 3 times. So what are the rationales for these countries and institutions that actively invest in international recruitment? At the national level, we have the economic impact. The economic impact is undeniable because international students contribute significantly through tuition fees, through their living expenses, and also tourism. A study from 2021 by the European Parliament's Committee on Culture and Education highlighted that international students contribute tens of billions of euros annually to the EU economy. And for countries like Portugal, this influx can be a vital economic stimulus, particularly outside the major metropolitan centers. Then another reason is addressing skills gaps and demographic challenges, because many developed nations face aging populations and shortages in key sectors, especially in STEM areas and in healthcare. So international graduates often represent a pool of highly skilled individuals who can fill these gaps. And research by OECD has consistently pointed to the long-term benefits of retaining international talent. Then countries are also concerned about soft power and diplomacy. And bringing in international students means also educating future global leaders and fostering positive connections between countries, which builds invaluable diplomatic ties and enhances a nation's global influence. Then we have rationales at the institutional level. Financial sustainability is a very strong rationale. For many universities, international student fees provide crucial revenue streams, enabling them to invest in facilities, in research, in maintaining a diverse portfolio of courses, especially in contexts where public funding is strained. Then there is also the question of reputation and rankings. We know that a diverse student body and international research collaborations are key metrics in global university rankings, and they enhance institutional prestige, and institutions are very sensitive to these rankings. Then we have innovation and research. International students, particularly at postgraduate level in doctoral programs, are crucial to research capacity. And they bring diverse perspectives that fuel innovation, as highlighted in various and numerous studies on the impact of diversity in research teams. And then there is the interest in building global networks. Universities forge partnerships and research collaborations through their international student and staff exchanges. And not least, we have the internationalization of the campus. Exposure to different cultures, to different languages and different viewpoints enriches the learning experience for domestic students as well, preparing them for a globalized workforce and work environment. And this internationalization at home is a very significant, although it's a less quantifiable benefit. So, coming to the Portuguese context, we have opportunities here and we have also responsibilities. As I was saying, the drive to attract international students is rather recent, about a decade old, and it aligns with the broader strategy of global engagement and economic development. The allure of Portugal is given by its perceived safety, quality of life, welcoming culture, and increasingly also the reputation of universities. And what offers a unique advantage to Portugal are its linguistic and cultural ties with Portuguese-speaking countries, where we have most of our international students coming from. However, this growth brings responsibilities. And as we welcome more students, we must ask ourselves, our support structures in housing, in language support, in mental health services, adequate for a diverse student population? How do we ensure that economic benefits are balanced with genuine socio-cultural integration and with mutual respect? And how can we leverage this international presence to enrich Portuguese society as a whole, going beyond the university campus? And this is where the second part of our conference theme, the prevalence of socio-cultural values, becomes important. Because we need to go beyond numbers. The increase has been dramatic in international students, but we need to go beyond numbers. We need to have inclusive and humane policies. Because if we view international students solely through an economic lens, as units of revenue, we risk devaluing their human experience and undermining the very sociocultural benefits they bring. Students are not numbers, they are above all human beings, and they all come with their own history. The institutions which host them are often their only point of reference just after their arrival in Portugal or in any foreign country. So institutions have the opportunity to act as second homes for these students. And if they do so, it will greatly benefit not only the students themselves, but also the institutions. And the evidence is clear. Student well-being is linked to academic success and positive long-term engagement with the institution. So humane and inclusive policies are not just ethically desirable, they are strategically also essential. And this means prioritizing integration, not only recruitment. Moving beyond enrollment numbers, looking at enrollment numbers to foster genuine inclusion. It also means providing comprehensive support, because the challenges of studying abroad, like culture shock, like language barriers, loneliness, homesickness, are well documented and must be proactively addressed by institutions. Then there's also a need to ensure ethical recruitment practices, to be transparent in recruitment, to provide accurate information to students, and to focus on student welfare. Then we also need to combat xenophobia and discrimination. We must proactively address any instances of prejudice and to foster a culture of respect and international intercultural understanding. Because when we invest in the well-being of international students, we are not only upholding socio-cultural values, but we are also enhancing profitability, in inverted commas, in a broader sense, because happy and well-supported students are more likely to succeed academically, to be happy with their experience, and to contribute positively to the campus and local community, and then later on become lifelong ambassadors for the institutions where they studied. So in this respect, we would like really to applaud the forward thinking of the Erasmus Plus National Agency in Portugal. I don't know if you are aware, the Portuguese public here, but in 2021, the national agency was mandated to strengthen the international attractiveness of Portuguese higher education institutions abroad. And while it has engaged with initiatives to promote Portuguese higher education abroad to boost recruitment, it has also chosen to go the extra mile and not limit itself to recruitment. So the agency has included integration in its mission, and is planning at the moment to launch an initiative called Welcome in Portugal. And this initiative, Welcome in Portugal, will be a national certification, like a kind of label, which will be attributed to those Portuguese institutions which are recognized to have exemplary practices in hosting and in integrating international students and researchers. So watch that space, and I'm very happy to see that the national agency, the Erasmus National Agency, has this concern with the international students' well-being. So to conclude, what we need, I would suggest, is to strive for a balanced approach. The question that we pose in this conference, a profitable industry or the prevalence of socio-cultural values, may be actually a false dichotomy. Because the most successful and sustainable models of international education will be those that bring these two threads together. They will be economically savvy and deeply humane at the same time. They will recognize international students as individuals bringing immense economic benefit, but also intellectual and cultural capital. So over the next few days, we encourage everyone to engage critically with the ideas brought here, to share insights, to share your experiences, and to challenge assumptions. So let's explore together how we can collectively ensure that the internationalization of our education system serves not only economic goals, but also enriches our institutions, fosters global understanding, and most importantly, respects every student and empowers every student who chooses to embark on this transformative and often challenging journey, which is studying abroad. Muito obrigada, thank you, and I wish you all a stimulating and productive conference. And I hope you will have some good takeaways after tomorrow. Thank you.